how do you cleanse your aura? What is the most essential, important step in cleansing the aura? And why do you do it in the first place? Cleansing your aura, balancing your energy, harmonizing your frequency is one of the first and essential steps to harmonizing yourself with the frequencies that will make you a match to everything that you want in life. And not just to the things that you want, but to good health and a good quality of life all around. When I work with people in energy work, they oftentimes will come in with this vat of energy that they want cleansed out. But when we are talking about cleansing our aura, no matter what you do or where you go, it is very much a personal process. Though this personal process can be aided by professionals who work with energy, there's a really important essential step that once you master it, this is something that you can do on your own every single day or whenever you need to and you feel like that you really must balance out your energy. This essential step, it transcends all the physical elements that you apply in order to cleanse your aura. For example, in my previous video on how to cleanse your aura, I spoke about different elements that you can apply, from being out in nature to oils to smudging to crystals. But the most essential aspect to this is forgiveness. Why forgiveness? Well, first we have to understand that we are in a constant dance between thoughts and emotions, and keeping these thoughts and emotions generally at a good vibration. And the way that we do that is by paying attention. So where are we putting attention to? And sort of paying attention what we are looking at, what we are paying attention to with our hearts, with our vibration. So oftentimes what happens is that things happen in our world, and that's when we usually become aware that we must make a change, or that we want to cleanse our aura, or that we're carrying with us this really heavy vibration. And so we will look outside of us to make this change. And the aura is something that can be seen with the physical eyes. It is very much something that is actually produced by your inner state, your inner world, and your higher being. So even though you might think of it as a physical thing, something manifested in the physical world, it is very much something that the shift must happen internally. The reason that we use physical elements is that we are setting powerful intentions, and even though these powerful elements have such great frequencies around them, it is this one element that will make the difference between you truly cleansing your aura, balancing your energy, and harmonizing your frequency or not. And that is your heart element, your heart chakra. And part of what makes this happen is forgiveness. See, what happens is we go through life and we build many, many, many walls, and we work very hard, we fight very hard to protect these walls. And so sometimes people come in and might do things that can break these wall boundaries that we have created. And this can be very hurtful for us. And oftentimes we want to fight back even harder. And the way that we do that is by building this calluses, these emotional calluses to the things that have happened to us. And now we must fight even harder to protect ourselves. So what's important to realize is that as you're building these walls and you're fighting really hard, you are exhausting yourself. And so your energy is depleting, and you are becoming more and more of a match for darker energies, and then you fall into this downward spiral. So why forgiveness is so important is because it requires surrender. See, oftentimes we think of surrender as a fine idea intellectually, but to truly embrace it is a bit too intense, because sometimes it goes against the way that we've evolved as human beings to protect our walls, to protect who we are, and to protect these fictional ideas, these illusions of realities that we have. When we surrender, we decide to stop fighting and to simply be, and to begin accessing wisdom instead of all this aggression and force to try to fight through something, when instead it just keeps bringing us further down. So again, surrender then brings us closer to vulnerability. Vulnerability is another tough element to embrace, depending on the way that you're raised, depending on, especially if you've been through a lot of hurt, getting even more vulnerable feels like the last thing you want to do. But it is simply this forgiveness that allows us to break the walls of illusions that are keeping us in a state of depletion, to actually allow us to see things for what they are, so then we can begin to build ourselves back up. So it is we cannot really clear our vibration, we cannot really cleanse our aura unless we have learned to forgive, whether it is forgiving ourselves or others, because that one is when actually healing can begin to happen. See, oftentimes we think we are being so rational and logical when we are so incredibly emotional, and we're in constant reaction to emotions and circumstances that sometimes are purely fictional, that are just happening in our minds. And a lot of intense buildup happens in this, to the point where we become a match for really a tragic event or accidents or things that are bad relationships. So again, why forgiveness is so important, because it's a wonderful process of rinse and repeat that you can do with yourself and others. Because let's face it, we have chosen to come to this physical reality to experience all the different aspects of this physical reality. And part of it is that sometimes we will stump our toes, sometimes we will get in relationships and encounters that won't necessarily be pleasant, but have a lot to teach us. But they will only teach us if we have enough of the openness, if we have enough of the right vibrational match to actually access the wisdom that we must. One interesting aspect of your heart and your heart chakra is that it is, in a way, the brain of your vibration. See, we also have a physical brain that processes our thoughts and emotions, but our thoughts and emotions create a vibration. Where is that vibration being processed? It is processed in your heart. And so the heart is actually physically located in between your root chakra and your highest chakra. And so it's in the same way, just like you have a reptilian brain, and you have the neocortex brain, your limbic brain, where your emotions are processed, is right in between those two. So being able to healthily process our emotions, we know, creates emotional intelligence, and emotional intelligence trumps basically any other type of intelligence, because it allows us to handle the world more healthily. It allows us to recover more quickly from things that are happening around us. And the world is always evolving. It is always expanding. It is always experiencing, and sometimes this happens in a painful way. Sometimes this happens by experiencing fear and struggle. And it is not about rejecting these things. It's just about knowing how to quickly recover. So when we want to cleanse our aura, is because we are feeling a buildup. Sometimes we want to cleanse our aura because we start to become aware that it is a process, just like we daily must take showers, we daily must cleanse our auras and become energetically aligned with better frequencies. But again, we cannot do this unless we apply forgiveness. Forgiveness is able to tear down those walls of illusions that we fight so hard to protect, that in the end simply exhaust us. So remember, if you'd like to cleanse your aura, the most important aspect is forgiveness. Once you begin to really feel the aspect of forgiveness, not just intellectualize it, and you feel it by embracing surrender and vulnerability, then you are able to start embracing all the different other physical elements that will really sort of seal in and really empower your physical vibrational aura.